on this particular episode, I'm going to call this the founding basis of drill, the founding fathers of drill. And we really going to start off with the blow up, the rise, and basically like the structure of how, not even necessarily the structure, but who paved the groundwork. And really, I got to start from the streets of Chicago. So it'll be like a series to where y'all get to watch this and see this and listen into this. Chicago music has always been a thing since I can remember. When I was a little boy, I have to start there. Like, in order to get to where we get there, I got to start with the backstory from early as I can remember. Chicago's always been a musical city since I can remember. I don't remember the first rappers from Chicago that was, like, rapping, but I know the first famous rapper that I knew, that I remember hearing everywhere, was Common. Common was the first one that had, like, Common was the first dude I heard everywhere. And that's because he was in tour with Ice Cube back in, like, 91. So I'm 4. Yeah, the and you. They got into it. It was him and Ice Cube. They had real beef. So he was the first rapper I heard that was from Chicago. Then, of course, there's Twista, Do or Die. My coming of age came when, like, Chicago just had started getting, like, for having local acts. Like, Rap A Lot came and got Do or Die. And that happened on some street shit. That literally happened on Jay Prince and 4A's just going to Chicago and him running into the right people. And they just like, hey, we got some dudes from out west that rap. Ooh, they this, they that. Oh, they one of the guys. Like, that was really on some connection shit, like on some gangbanging shit. So that's really what that was from jump. I had heard of Twista, of course, but I was too young to understand what I was listening to. Psychodrama, all them cats. I was too young to understand what I was listening to. Twista was rapping too fast and talking about some other shit, so I didn't get a chance to understand what he was about. Crucial Conflict was the first guys I heard, and I was like, hey, in the middle of the barn. And I was like, okay, cool. They hard. But they was like a gimmick rap almost, because they had the Western style rap, remember? They had the Western style rap. They was like rap, they made out west Chicago, they made you think cowboys and out west. And really, it wasn't that. It's really like, it's grimy as fuck out there. But it's the Wild Wild West. But it's grimy as fuck out there. So, you get this spot where rappers from Chicago are blowing up, they're catching traction, but they're not they're not breaking the culture. They're not like bringing the culture with them. Like, Twista was the closest. But even then, at that time, it was like he still was speaking almost like a New York language. So it was like, and we looked at him almost like gimmick rap. We respected the production. We respected like all that shit, but it was more so along the lines of gimmick rap. You rap fast. Like the up and coming kid don't understand this. I would say we went a few years where you get little pop-up acts like Soldiers at War. Then we got Kanye. Now Kanye becomes the spark. We got now all before this is happening. Bump J, all Sly Polaroid, all these dudes are moving on the underground scene. So they Bump J was the first gangster rapper from Chicago, like street rapper from Chicago that was on Smack DVDs, that was on Sub-Zero, that was on different. He was the first dude I heard from Chicago getting $1 million deal from Atlantic Records. He was the first dude I found out that was getting $1 million deals from Chicago. Bump J. But to understand Bump J, you would have to understand he had been rapping since 1999. I remember his first tape, Live from Bedrock. He had on a Boston Celtics throwback jersey. He was standing in front of the project building. And that shit was cheap as And it just so happens he gets a little light. And he gets that light by the way of a kid named Kanye West. The reason why I don't really speak too heavy on Kanye like that is because he's transcendent Chicago. I don't care what nobody say. He transcends Chicago. Like, and I love Kanye to death, but he went to New York to get on. He didn't break Chicago niggas first. He didn't break his first artist that he got his big break with was Jay-Z. Then he came back and brought the light to Chicago. Then we started getting the better looks from Twista would have never ended up with Jamie Foxx unless he meets Kanye West.
And this kid walks in with a backpack on and his jaw is busted. And I said, who's that? And they said, that's Kanye West. I said, what do you do? They said, he raps and, you know, he produces for Jay-Z. I said, well, everybody that comes to my house got to perform. I gotta see what this dude has. And he says, the song goes, she says she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross. I said, I got it.
You get what I'm saying? Now we start seeing Bum J on McDonald's with the Move Around song, who was produced by who? Kanye West. Now we see him on Live 2005 with Carmelo Anthony on there. Bum J's on the soundtrack. Now we're seeing 3H Joshua. That was the dude who was trying to sign Kanye. 3H, Jewish kid from Capitol Records. He was trying to sign Kanye bad as and he couldn't. So he had no other choice. He was like, man, once Kanye got to where he was going, he went and signed Bum J. I couldn't get you, but I can get your homie. And I know you with him, so I'm going to still get the quality you giving me. Real 3H, look him up. This is a true story. If you ever listen to Last Call on Kanye West, he talks about 3H. In most of his songs, when he talks about who discovered him first in the industry, it was 3H. Jonathan 3H something. I don't want to get it wrong because it's a Jewish long name. But he was the A&R over there at Capitol Records. He was the head vice president of Capitol Records. And he works closely with Johnny Shipes. He mentors Johnny Shipes. So New York and that culture always knew what was going on in Chicago. So after a while, we get a nice little run. I want to say 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. It's relatively the same people. It's quiet. Ain't no new stars buzzing out of Chicago like that. They got to run. Common doing his thing. Kanye doing his thing. There's no new stars really coming out of Chicago. But you have these kids on the South Side that are still living the everyday life that we come from, that I'm familiar with. And I've always said this. The first time I heard Chief Keef, I was like, that's Chicago. The first time I heard Chief Keef, I said, there goes Chicago. There we go. But I would be skipping an important part of the beginning of drill music. It was this guy from Dro City named Pac-Man. He was the first rapper and I'll get into how this leads into that. He was a rapper from the streets that was getting into various situations, gunfights, shooting, killing. He was the first dude from Chicago that was making, first it was called dead music, because it was really I'm gonna kill you music. They was letting niggas know across town from what or around the way who into who, what we gonna do to you. It was called dead music. Drill music, Young Chop even, if you look it up, Young Chop even said, because this is what it sounded like. If you ever listen to the beginning of drill music, it's heavy bass percussions, and it's got like a rolling sound. It's a lot of heavy bass. A lot of the early drill, like 2011, 2012, 13, until like Lex Luger and all them come along, and Chop really perfects his sound. You think about how drill sounds, bang, all that. Early King Louis, all that shit has like a certain sound to it. Chop crashed out. Chop easily could have been the biggest producer out of this generation. He was. He had Chicago in a stranglehold. He was he's the innovator. He's like one of the key architects of a sound that everybody across the world is using. He's in London. He's in New York. All that shit come from Chop damn near. So he's one of the main architects. Him and DJ Ken. I don't know if you're familiar with DJ Ken, the Chinese dude that did a lot of Chief Keef first videos and shit. He's his first producer. He did the whole bang. DJ Ken is the first one who did the first bang. He was just a Chinese dude, was literally stumbled on some kids. He just walking through a neighborhood, stumbled on some kids rapping this, and was like, y'all know I DJ. Took a liking to Chief Keef and Fredo Santana. Fredo Santana took liking to him. R.I.P. my nigga Fredo. That was my man for real. R.I.P. Derek Coleman. He was a good real. The niggas basically took to this dude, and that's how them niggas got in the studio for free. Reese and all them, it's literally like just imagine you chilling in the hood and a old white dude just walking past and just be like, "Oh, y'all on the porch rapping? Guess what? I got a studio and I be doing mixtapes and all that. Y'all need to come through," because he said they didn't take him serious at first. He said Chief keeping them they didn't think but who at this time who's gonna believe you? The crime rate high, poverty low. It's Chicago. It's a fucked up place at this time. Niggas don't understand. From like 2003 to like just recently, Chicago been fucked up. Like up. Like, that once the project buildings tore down, we still suffering the effects from that shit. Niggas don't understand what that did to the community. That displaced a lot of people that was used to living in one spot their whole life. And this all they know. They first 4-5 generations come from this one building. I remember living in my project building. My aunties stay on one floor. My other cousins stay on one floor. Like, your family, we stay on the 3rd floor. My cousin them stay on the 5th floor. My other cousins stay on the 5th floor. My mama's sister stay on the 7th floor. And these are multiple buildings that's like this. Your grandma probably stay in the apartment, the projects like a mile down. You feel what I'm saying? So that shit, once they put all them people out of there, that f*** it up. Now these people are going into neighborhoods where they don't know people. They don't know, and how do they survive? They hustle. They sell dope. So when you take the buildings down where these are like little fiefdoms and shit, what do you get? A lot of extreme violence. At first it go from fighting. Niggas, because you got to think, we come from projects where all we do every day is fight each other. Because we got in these buildings. We know, man, when the buildings was up, literally you knew what projects had the best fighters and the best shooters and everything. The name of my projects, Wentworth Gardens, is called Murder Town. That lets you know everything you need to know about our neighborhood. The most rowdiest on the low end of Chicago, the most rowdiest and violent come from my neighborhood. It's because we fight each other. The neighborhood is so big, and where we sit off the expressway, we damn near separated from everybody else. So you got to go out your way to come to us, and we got to come to you. And really, we got to go a long way home. So it's whatever happened in between. I'm talking about we used to be 8 or 9 deep, getting jumped on by niggas 13, 14, 15 deep. And we got to cross the bridge to get home. What you going to do? After a while, that gets old. Then it comes shooting. So now you get the predecessor for drill music. Because I don't give a f what nobody say. All that shit comes from a form of aggression.
What does drill music stand for?
Drill music, drill meaning a hit, a murder, a kill. Hunting your enemy down and making them a victim, a pack, smoking on them niggas. So when niggas don't understand, but I said this the foundation episode. So I got to explain where all this shit come from and why all this shit go, like how it goes. Because to get the thoughts that these kids are getting when they talking about they smoking like this, they doing this, they sliding like this, it's a strong psychological disconnect. See, when I was a kid, it was different. It was like, it was structured. The niggas that was doing the shooting, we was groomed for that. They picked niggas for that. You got picked for that. I got tipped all the time, just like with drug dealing. Niggas got, like in the 70s and 80s, you just couldn't get on. Up until crack, pre-80s, early 80s, 70s, when niggas was selling heroin, the mafia chose you for that. The Connect chose you for that. Same thing with gangbanging. Back in the days when I was a shorty, you just didn't become GD. You was in a GD neighborhood to other people. You got chose for that. It had to happen to you, and they had to see you come from some sort of background to do that. If they niggas know you got your mama and your daddy, you go to school, you wear clean uniforms, they telling you go in the house. This ain't what you want. Yo, you got good people. It was about embracing the kids who didn't have it. So now you get these little niggas that are put out, their mamas and their moms are put out these project buildings. They move into neighborhoods where niggas like Pac-Man, King Louie, all them been there. All them been there. Duck is, R.I.P. Duck. Duck is from the Ida B. Wells projects. His brothers, Kobe and Brick, I went to school with Kobe. My nigga Moochie, you my best friend, he used to hang with this nigga Kobe. He would have been my age. Like, so it's a generational structure. I would be considered the 3rd generation. It's the Larry Hoover and them, then it's my dad and them, then you got me. You got the 3rd generation. I'm a 3rd generation gangbanger. So I'm a little more closer to the lineage and understand a lot more than these niggas. We're on like the 5th and 6th generation now with these new niggas. They gangbang, they know they GD, they know who Larry Hoover is, but we still our own gang. We really don't gotta listen to nobody. We spending like we want to spend because we scamming, we playing prize picks, we selling dope, fake perks, pills, all that. So when they got money and guns bigger than you, where's really the structure at? So all this leads to a big pot of drill music. Because when money comes power, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says, money is an ill dynamic in any situation. And when you got some shit like that, like I was telling niggas, when I was a kid, we had money, but not like how these niggas have money. These little niggas got money. It's totally different. Like I had maybe 500, some shit like that. These little niggas are 17, 18 years old and damn near up 250 off the scam. Off 200, off scamming. and all they can do is go buy ghost guns and buy guns and buy pints for their homies and fund the music that they. A lot of these little niggas ain't got money. They homies got the money. And they just, hey, folks, let me hold 10 bands so I can do this video, get this nigga on the feature, and here. Because I know you going to get that back, bitch, when you get your views up. And that's what them little niggas doing. That's them these little, they a little more smarter than we were. Because we was too busy trying to take orders and listen, which was cool, but it didn't work for us. This generation, like, you can't really tell these niggas what to do because they have a whole, they got representation. They got Chief Keef. They got killers. They got niggas Dirk. They got Vaughn. Vaughn will go down in history as one of the most infamous serial killers of all time of being a rapper. Easy. He's a serial killer, whether you like him or not. I f***ed with Shorty, but let's be real. He's a serial killer. And all that set the precipice of what? Drill music. And I explained it like this. For my next episode, I'm going to explain to you why Gucci and Waka Flocka are two of major cornerstones of drill music that come out of Chicago. And if you know, you know. So tap in. Yeah.